that's replacing the bolts and doing it properly with the nut and washer, a rubber washer and steel washer on the bottom, in addition to the bolt with the rubber washer. So it's literally sealing the tank to itself. That's Bill Bridges, owner of Straight Arrow Repair. Ever want to know how a repairman fixes things? Well, come with me and I'll show you how I solve problems. Let's make things better together. Hi guys, we have a problem with the toilet leaking. Didn't know what, so got here and reached underneath the toilet here, and hand was getting wet. A little bit of moisture. It was not leaking around the hose, not around the supply line, but it was leaking around the screws. There are two, sometimes three, not very often three, but two bolts that go through. Usually they're a blade screwdriver. You'll need a large one. And then it has a nut on the bottom. Underneath the head of that bolt is a rubber washer, and that gets hard. You can sometimes tighten it up. You got to be careful not to break the tank, because the bolt goes through the tank, or the bowl into the tank, or something like that. Anyway, we'll show you what we're doing. We took the lid off, found out what we need to do. We went to Lowe's and bought a tank, gasket, and bolt set. So it's a gasket, and so that we're going to replace that rubber gasket. It sits right there at the same time. So we'll show you what we do. Alright, so we took the bolts out. This is a rubber washer on the bottom. Really corroded. You may have to clean that off with your blade. You have to have a larger blade screwdriver. And it goes through the tank that holds the water. Goes down in through the bowl where you sit on. And the nuts have to come off on the bottom. So you can use like a pair of channel locks. I think it's a 9/16 wrench. And there'll be a washer on the bottom down here. This has the rubber washer to block the water from coming out of the tank and then down. Eventually that rubber washer gives out, particularly when somebody leans on the tank and moves the washer around when it's hard. So we're going to replace all that, and we'll show you what we did. Alright, so in order to get the tank off, you're going to have to disconnect the supply line to the fill valve, which comes from the knob that shuts your water off. And you take that off, and then you've already pulled your bolts. And we're also going to replace this tank to bowl rubber washer while we're in here. And so we're using that same screwdriver to get it off. And then this goes right there. And it'll set back down. And then we'll take these bolts. See how much cleaner? Let's see. There's the old one. There's the new one. Pretty rough.
The washer.
I'm going to put a rubber washer on it. Like so. It will slide up. Like that. And in this, if it's a good one, this one is, you'll put this bolt with a rubber washer on it through the hole that's in the tank there. Make sure that's clean. And then on the bottom, you will, here, I'll just do it. Not much light in the salon where everybody wants it quiet. This is supposed to be a stress-free zone, so we don't want to stress out. So it's gone through, and we're going to put another rubber washer. This is a good one, see? that. Then we'll put a washer, and then we'll put a nut.
So if you just put a nut, so that makes it take off.
Now, the reason this is better is because before, whenever the tank moved or anything, we'll tighten that up with holding a blade screwdriver, a large one like that, on the inside, and then a wrench to tighten that up, is because before you didn't have this rubber washer on the bottom. And if somebody leaned on it, moved it around, that rubber washer would give and it would leak through. But guess what? Now you have a rubber washer on the bottom. This thing is totally going to hold water all by itself. It won't be contingent on if this gets loose down here in the nut or if it gets leaned against. It's still going to hold water. So what we're going to do after that is we'll take this wing nut with another washer, and it'll go through that bowl, and we'll put that washer on first, and then we'll put this on, and that will be the much higher quality setup. So it's so tight in here and so dark, I'm not going to be able to show you that with the camera right on it, but we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This has the arrangement, so if you have a tank with 3 bolts, you have that ability also. So here we go. I'm going to that in. That's in. Washer. And then nut. So then we'll tighten it up and we'll set this on. Then we're going to put a washer and a wing nut on the bottom and tighten it all up. Then we'll put the fill valve back on, turn it on, see if it leaks. And I'll take you with me on that. Alright, so we had a little bit of issue with the washer in between the tank and the bowl, but we finally got that tightened down. If you are leaking only when you flush, it would be that gasket. If it is anything else, it would leak constantly, okay? If it only leaks when you flush, it's that rubber gasket between the tank and the bowl, all right? Keep that in mind. That's replacing the bolts and doing it properly with the nut and washer, rubber washer and steel washer on the bottom, in addition to the bolt with a rubber washer, so it's literally sealing the tank to itself. That's the way you should do it. So I'll let you guys go. Hopefully you pick something up and learn something. Maybe we'll get one spot where it's not so tight and we can get the camera in there and show you a little bit more. Take the toilet out and set it on a bench or something. But anyway, see you later. It's Phil Bridges. If you like what you saw, think it might be helpful to somebody else, push that like button and let other people know what you and I now know. And we'll work together toward making a brighter future. And by the way, we're not Americans, we're Americans. See you next time.